How many times have you heard from an elected official, it's about time these people start paying their fair share? Every time I hear that, I cringe. I wonder if this politician is out to simply place blame on groups of people. And I worry that the constituents that are listening to this politician don't really form their opinions from knowledge. And that's why I make these videos. Welcome back, everybody, to Federal Income Tax Overtime, where I hope to provide you with some additional dimensions and insights about the system that will again make you a more informed citizen. Our last video left off with us modeling the income of a well-paid athlete who was making $48 million a year. Some of the features of our tax system are that married couples are entitled to take a standard deduction. Basically, we can think about it as a 0% tax bracket. First $27,700 of income is taxed at 0%. Then after that, we apply our income to brackets and we don't move on until brackets are fully completed. So our income is actually taxed at many different rates, as we're showing here. Our system is progressive in that it starts out at a lower percent, and the more a couple makes, the greater the percentage of their income they're expected to pay. So here with this athlete, we see that nearly over 47 million of the 48 million they are earning is taxed at 37%. And so the person is well above the threshold to enter into the 37% bracket. And so the average taxation is actually also approaching 37%. Now, how does this play out in the real world? For that, we're going to turn to a table produced by the Heritage Foundation. Now, in this table, across the top row, it breaks down percentages of income earned in the country. And in the bottom row, the percentages of taxes paid in the country. So let's break this down. The top 1% of income earners, and I believe this chart was created in 2021, uh, they earn $540,000 or more in a year. Okay, so 1% of our population earns that much. They earn 21% of all the income earned in the country, and they pay 40% of all the income taxes paid in the country. Now, when we get to the second through 5th% of income earners, those are people who are earning $218,000 to $540,000. They're earning 16% of the total income earned in the country and paying 20% of the taxes. By the time we get to the people that are earning in the top 5 to 10% of income earners, they're earning a total of 11% of all the national income, and they're paying 11% of the tax. So in that regard, it's proportional. But as we move left, we're going to see that the percentage of income is going to begin exceeding the percentage of taxes paid until we get all the way here to the left, where this represents the bottom 50% or bottom half of the income earners in America. Those are earning less than $43,600. In total, those people are earning 12% of the nation's total income, and they were paying 3% of the nation's taxes. While it would appear that high income earners do carry a heavy tax burden, that is not satisfying everyone. New York Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez in January of 2019 proposed that we add a bracket below the 37% bracket. That bracket would be 70%, and that it would start or apply to incomes in excess of $10 million in a year. Let's see how that will play out. So I'm going to return to our spreadsheet, and I've got another tab for you, and that shows an additional bracket, which I've labeled AOC, as she's commonly known, that will start at $10 million of income and will apply a tax rate of 70%. So let's go back up here and type in 48 million, which is the income of that athlete we were talking about earlier, and see how this plays out. So we can see nearly 38 million of the 48 million in income will have a tax rate of 70% applied to it. which will result in a tax of over $30 million. So that compares to, if I click back, a tax of 17 plus million. So as we would expect, having a 70% tax bracket would result in a dramatically higher tax obligation for high income earners. We need to note that this is the federal income tax. There are 41 states that have a state income tax as well that we'd have to add on to this. The state of California has the highest state income tax, and its top rates exceed 13%. Residents of New York City have to pay not just New York State's income tax, but also New York City's income tax. So, for residents of New York City and residents of California earning tremendous sums of money, any amount over $10 million would basically have a total marginal tax rate in excess of 80%. Basically, these people are faced with the prospect of losing more than four out of every $5 they earn in excess of $10 million. It's important that we note that the Congresswoman's proposal was made in 2019. It is several years later. It does not appear that the proposal got any serious consideration in Congress, and it's unlikely to become law. Critics have also noted that in America's past, there have been times when we did have very high marginal tax rates and the world did not come to an end. Still, we have to wonder about high income earners as rational actors simply refusing to earn additional sums of money, perhaps beyond 10 million, because they feel as though they'd be working 80% or more for one government or another, and that's something they might refuse to do. We are approaching year end and we have information for 2023, but what about 2024? The IRS has published updated tax information for that tax year. So let's have a look. So on this last tab, I've set up the current tax brackets on the left and the tax brackets that will be in place in 2024. Now let's note some changes. The standard deduction is moving up from $27,700 to $29,200. Note as well that all the brackets have increased. Here's an example. The upper limit of the 10% bracket for this tax year is 22,000. It is moving up to $23,200. Now, if you look at the numbers a little more closely, you'll note that they are moving up by 5.4%, which is basically an inflation adjustment. The raising of these numbers is a good thing. The reason why is because if our incomes move up with inflation and the brackets stay stagnant, we're going to pay more and more taxes, even though in real terms, our income is not increasing. So I just want to show you something interesting. If I type in $100,000 here in the current tax system, we'll have a tax of $8,236, which is 8.24 rounded percent of our actual income. Now, if we are fortunate enough, I program the spreadsheet this way, to grow our income into next year by that same 5.4%, if somehow we had a job that was our wage was indexed to inflation itself, we'd earn 105,400. And we come down here, yes, we're paying a higher total dollar amount of taxation. But if you notice down here, the average rate of actual income tax is identical. Thank you so much for investing your time to learn more about the federal income tax system. I believe now you're better able to assess whether people are paying their fair share. If you've learned something from the video, please like it and share it. Also, subscribe to the Financial Lit channel. Till next time.